Right, well, I'm just asking you this question. This is not a gotcha. I thought this was going to be an easy softball into harder questions. Do you think Bitcoin is a security?
No, I think I've said this in the past that I think that it
I'm asking you to answer my question now. This is not supposed to be hard.
Though I inherited, not only from them, but I inherited from my dad, a real allergy to cats, and it's real.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
How's it going, everyone? It's Sam back in the office here today, and we have a lot going on, from Gary Gensler being roasted again by Congress to him talking about whether Bitcoin's a security, not giving a straight answer at first. We have news that Moodys, a huge rating company, may downgrade the U.S. credit here soon. We have so much going on, including the president picketing along with UAW workers, the inevitable demise of the big three. We have more videos coming out of more and more companies being raided and having shoplifters take thousands of dollars of product. Huge anti-monopoly case with Amazon, and other stuff that has to do with crypto as well, including Microsoft getting into crypto, and one huge bank not allowing people to buy crypto. So we're going to talk about a lot. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification underneath the video, and let's get into it. As you can see here, Bitcoin pretty much unchanged in the last 24 hours. Of course, we're up 0.6%, but we were up to 26,700 earlier today, then dropped right back down, just shaking out some longs and some shorts, I think, as we go along here. And the whole crypto market being a little bit quiet recently, just slowly bleeding a bit. Now, I will say the U.S. Congress has been pushing for the SEC to approve a spot ETF immediately in a firmly worded letter. This is just for congressmen, though, and I've heard some videos talk about it as Congress pushing for this, but it's just for congressmen. And now there's more videos of Gary Gensler in front of Congress, which we'll talk about in a second. First of all, though, I want to say, I think one of the most important things in crypto is to know, obviously, where all your crypto's at, to know how you're performing against just holding something like Bitcoin. And a lot of people don't really pay attention to that, the Bitcoin value of their portfolio, which is why I started a company with another YouTuber, Connor Kenny, and someone else to track everything in one portfolio. And I'm talking about having Bitcoin values of your entire net worth. So you can see, am I actually keeping up versus Bitcoin? Am I actually losing purchasing power in Bitcoin? We're also going to try to do that with other cryptocurrencies as well. So if you are a huge Cardano bull, you can see your Cardano value over time. But it's more than that. We're going to have price charts. We're going to have news. We're also going to have liquidation tabs showing how much crypto is liquidated during any given period, along with other really cool features. This is built by us, for us, some stuff that we wanted to see. And there are going to be some features like being able to put in exactly where your crypto is stored. If that's something that you want, you can put it in there when you're actually looking at your holdings, which will be awesome because there are so many places you can put your crypto. Like I have so many wallets throughout the last few years that I've had to add to buy specific cryptos. Sometimes if there's some exchange that goes down, or if there's some crypto that I want to sell, it would be nice to actually have one spot that tells me exactly where it is. So right now we are pre-registering for this. So you can go to the website. I'll leave it linked underneath the video and in the comment section, the description as well. And you can just go to pre-register, put in your name and email. And then also, what are you interested in us adding? What kind of functionality? So there's no lock-in or anything like that. All you have to do is pre-register to get on this list, and you'll be able to get first access to this. I would highly suggest it because I think this is going to be an awesome tool for any crypto investor and just investors in general out there. Now let's move on. Gary Gensler is now in front of Congress again. Patrick McHenry tears into him. Let me Let me play this for you, and then we'll talk about it and show a couple other clips, and then get into some more news.
Third, your efforts to choke off the digital asset ecosystem, which has created real harm for consumers and our markets, is clear to all. You said the law is clear, but your actions have created more confusion and lasting damage. Chair Gensler, you've also said your goal is consumer protection. Yet your actions have pushed legitimate digital asset activities outside of regulated financial institutions where consumers are best protected. On one hand, we've seen bipartisan votes in Congress, in this committee, to provide clear rules of the road and real consumer protection. And on the other, we've seen your ad hoc regulation by enforcement approach to digital assets on a losing streak in the courts. You refuse to be transparent with Congress regarding your interactions with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. That's the investigation we started last Congress. Finally, your lack of responsiveness to this committee's legitimate oversight continues to be unacceptable. And I want to finish here. In February, the committee made multiple requests for documents to the Securities Exchange Commission. This is normal congressional oversight. Yet 7 months later, the committee has not received a single non-public document that was not part of a FOIA production. As I said, our patience is wearing thin. The SEC is not above the law, nor is it unique. Other financial regulators have routinely complied with congressional oversight. So let me be clear. I do not want to be the first chairman of this committee to issue a subpoena to the Securities Exchange Commission. And you should not want to be the first SEC chair to receive a congressional subpoena. Either we find a path forward where the SEC recognizes Congress as a co-equal branch of government and is responsive to our oversight duties, or my option is to issue a subpoena. It's time for you to consider the lasting consequences of your actions, and what that means to the Securities Exchange Commission's reputation long term. While your time in this role may be temporary, the repercussions for your actions may be permanent for the agency. I yield back.
We have a lot more to go through, but if you're liking Gary Gensler being held to a higher standard, being called out on his BS, share this video to people that you know. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, so that way YouTube pushes this out to more people. So Patrick McHenry really laying into Gary Gensler for not doing some of the things that he should be doing as SEC head. Let's continue to see what they say.
Fall into your view on Bitcoin. You've made comments on this. You believe Bitcoin is not a security. Is that true?
Well, I think the staff of the SEC have also, and the prior
I'm
chair.
just asking you this question. This is not a gotcha. I thought this was going to be an easy softball into harder questions. Do you think Bitcoin is a security?
No, I think I've said this in the past that I think that it doesn't
I'm asking you
meet
to
the Howey
answer
test.
my question now. This is not supposed to be hard.
I know. I said it
Just
does
to
not
answer-
meet the Howey test, which is the
Okay.
law of the land about being an
So
investment.
it doesn't meet the Howey
company.
test. So therefore, it's a commodity. Is that fair?
I would say it's not a security, and then the test is otherwise for other
Okay.
laws.
I think for crypto investors, this is like poetry. Seeing someone that has destroyed the crypto industry here, being called out for what he's been doing. This is interesting to watch. Now, at the same time this is happening, we have a problem. We have a government shutdown looming, possibly beginning Sunday. This is just unbelievable. But the government will shut down at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday, so just a few days from now, if Congress does not act, a possibility that looks increasingly likely. So what is exactly happening? Well, Congress is failing to provide funding for the fiscal year starting October 1. Some workers deemed essential would remain on the job but without pay. Can you imagine having to go to work without pay, knowing that you weren't going to get paid? I don't think I'd be too happy with that. But they have released a plan to keep the government funded through November 17, along with some aid for Ukraine and FEMA funding. Seems like government politicians always have some agenda, right? They can't just approve this. They have to sneak billions of aid, billions of dollars of spending into something. So unfortunately, we have this going on. And where is our president? He is not fully focused on this. He was just picketing on the UAW lines. Let's talk about that in a second. But first, Moodys warns U.S. government shutdown would negatively impact the country's credit rating. Is another U.S. debt downgrade coming? Keep in mind, this just happened a few months ago when Fitch downgraded the U.S. to AA plus from AAA. So this is not crazy to think about them possibly being downgraded. What does this do? It makes it more expensive to get debt. They'd have to pay higher yields. This would not be good for U.S. citizens. Keep in mind, last time this happened, nothing really happened to Bitcoin. We actually saw Bitcoin move up just slightly from 29,200 to 29,700. So last time this happened, this did push up Bitcoin, but then it ended up falling after that. Anyways, I don't think it impacts crypto a huge amount, but it does affect the overall economy, and it affects U.S. businesses as well. So Biden is striking with UAW workers on the picket lines and says that they should continue striking and that they should get a 40% increase in pay. Now, I'll say this. My thoughts on the UAW strikes are that basically I think that workers should be paid more here in the U.S., but also it's really hard to get paid more when there are better options overseas. Right? Chinese workers from Mexico, places that are really easily accessible for big U.S. companies can make products much cheaper. Now, how does the U.S. combat this? Well, they can give subsidies or they can give EV credits to companies that are doing business here in the U.S., but that just means it comes out of the government's pockets. So essentially, the government is then paying workers when you go through how it affects the company, right? So if the UAW starts to make more money, I do think that would cause these companies to look either overseas or at automating these processes a lot more. And eventually, more and more UAW workers will lose their pay completely. So unfortunately, I think Ford and GM are stuck in between a rock and a hard place, so are the auto workers. Biden is over there instead of focusing on Congress. And at the same time, we have Tesla lowering prices on their vehicles and coming out with videos like this. They are not just staying in the automotive space. They're using their massive amount of profits to focus on bigger industries. And look at this video. This is insane. A robot being able to detect different products, being able to detect them in real time. This is not like Boston Dynamics where they were set to do one specific thing. This is much harder and can be used in real life. I mean, in some of these videos, you can see the block actually turns sideways and it flipping it back over. So Tesla is absolutely destroying this, and they're doing it very quickly. I mean, 2 years ago, there was a person dancing around in a robot costume. Last year, we had a robot that could barely stand up and walk. And now we have a robot that can do yoga and actually do something specifically valuable in the real world. This product, this robot, they think they can build for under $50,000 eventually. Even if it was a few $100,000 now, compared to a UAW worker that is going to be demanding a 40% pay increase, is asking for 20% less hours. Think about this. This robot is probably worth $400,000, $500,000 today. When you consider the UAW worker right now, total cost to the company is about $155,000. If they get, let's say, a 30% raise, 25% raise, something like that, even without the extra time off, which is already on the table, 25 to 30% pay increase, that'll be $200,000 a year. And that will only be for 8 hours a day, not including weekends. This robot, even with downtime, let's say the downtime to fix this robot or oil it or something, let's say it's crazy and it's a full day. Or let's say it's 2 days, right? 2 days. Compared to a UAW worker, this robot can hold 3 UAW jobs. It can work 24/5 in this case, or 24/7 after they get it even smoother. So this robot is valuable up to $600,000 a year if it works as fast as a UAW worker. Think about how many years that would, how long that would take to pay for itself at a couple $100,000, a couple months. So this is what's coming for UAW. This is what's coming for a lot of industries. So I think Tesla is a good place to be invested right now. And a lot of people aren't even paying attention to that. They think it's such a long bet that's not even really being priced in. Some people obviously put more money in because of this opportunity. But overall, I think that's a huge business that Tesla will probably start making money on a couple years down the line. And they'll probably already be benefiting from it in a year or something like that. I think they're already using these bots at Tesla now, I believe they said. U.S. government and 17 states sue Amazon in landmark monopoly case. They're suing Amazon in a landmark monopoly case reflecting years of allegations that e-commerce giant abused its economic dominance and harmed fair competition. The groundbreaking lawsuit by the FTC and 17 attorneys generally marks the government's sharpest attack against Amazon, a company that started off selling books on the internet that has become known as the everything store, expanding into selling a vast range of consumer products, creating a globe-spanned logistics network, and becoming a powerhouse in other technologies such as cloud computing. So they say in this complaint, Amazon unfairly promotes its own business and services at the expense of third-party sellers who rely on the company's e-commerce marketplace for distribution. For example, according to the FTC, Amazon has harmed competition by requiring sellers on its platform to purchase Amazon's in-house logistics services in order to secure the best seller benefits, referred to as Prime eligibility. It also claims the company anti-competitively forces sellers to list their products on Amazon at the lowest prices anywhere on the web instead of allowing sellers to offer their products at competing marketplaces for a lower price. So there's a lot in this complaint, but I think most of it isn't going to hold up. For example, a lot of companies require the lowest products if you want to get into their marketplaces. This is not just Amazon. Saying Amazon has harmed competition by requiring sellers on its platform to purchase Amazon's in-house logistics. So basically requiring them to pay a little bit more to be Prime eligible. Keep in mind, Amazon only has so much room in certain warehouses. So if you want major distribution, you have to pay a little bit. This is very similar to other places, right? If you want to use a platform, you have to pay for said platform. And the amount that they're paying is not all that much when you compare it to other products and services. Some people are saying that they're paying as much as 50%. Keep in mind, here on YouTube, we pay 45% for YouTube to place ads. And there's barely any cost for YouTube to do that. The App Store charges a significant amount too. I believe it's 30%. And they're just a station. They just provide distribution and then take your money as you go through the station to pick up your app. So what Amazon has done, I think, isn't anti-competitive, isn't monopolistic. I think it's what everyone does. There were some complaints about advertising too, putting ads above different products, which is literally what every ad business does. So I think this will go away. I don't think they have a strong case. There are more people talking about this than just me too. They're giving more broad overviews. Check out Joseph Carlson if you haven't already. He did a great video on this just yesterday. I think Amazon is a product that almost everyone in the US loves and would not want to give up Amazon if you told them, okay, hey, we can dissolve Amazon right now or keep it just the way it is. I think 99% of people would say keep it just the way it is because I don't really care. And they do provide a lot of jobs too. So keep that in mind. Now, Amazon, since this has really come out, has gone down 13.6%. So they are not immune. Keep in mind that all of tech has been going down recently, and their companies are hurting a lot more than Amazon. I think Amazon's actually a really great company, and I am a large shareholder in Amazon. And when we compare it to other companies that are in a similar space, Target, Walmart, these companies are having a much harder time recently, retail companies, because they're being stolen from. And Amazon really can't be. I mean, I guess you could break into their warehouse, but there aren't too many people doing that because that is much more difficult. But you can see Target predicts 1.3 billion profit loss from theft coming straight off of their bottom line, profit loss. So they've actually shut down 9 stores recently in areas that you would think, California and New York. And it seems like this is getting worse since some companies or since some states have made the laws different so that you can actually steal, and it's not going to be as big of a problem for you legally. I think it's a misdemeanor now if you even get caught for it. But you can see here, recent video, I don't know, dozens of people stealing products from an Apple store. I think this is only getting worse for a lot of these retail companies. And I can only imagine that smaller businesses are just being destroyed completely. And this is at a time where they're paying higher interest rates. And it's just a tough time for a lot of people out there. This does cause inflation to go up. And this is a problem I think we're seeing here in the US. If some company loses thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars daily, they're going to raise their prices. They have to pay for this to happen. They have to make it up somehow. So this unfortunately is happening and getting worse. Moving over to crypto. Leaked internal Microsoft documents this week show an Xbox roadmap from 2022 that includes support for crypto wallets to hold Bitcoin. Now we see things come out like this all the time, leaks, where maybe there's something big happening in the background, but most likely it's just that they added some kind of functionality just in case, and they might not actually act on it. Now, I want to hear whether you think this is going to happen underneath the video. I think we've seen a lot of companies have these leaks come out and then not really amount to much. Of course, you wouldn't want to waste too much developer activity to code something like this, but keep in mind, Microsoft isn't a small company either. They have thousands or tens of thousands of coders. So there could just be 1 or 2 people that were put on this project just in case, like a little hedge, in case crypto continued to explode in 2021 and 2022, and then they just wanted to add some kind of payment system or something like that in Xbox and then get some free publicity. Last thing I want to cover, Chase tells customers that they will decline payments for Bitcoin and crypto. So this is only happening in the UK as of now. I've heard some other problems in the UK basically saying that if you are a UK citizen, you won't be able to actively promote exchanges like crypto exchanges, which is really tough because a lot of people outside the US make a lot of money from crypto exchanges. By the way, if you are looking for a crypto exchange, there's a link down there to BITGET where you can help me out because they take a small amount in fees, and I get a smaller and smaller amount of fees from that as well. And you get a great platform. They charge low fees. They are great for trading, so check them out underneath the video. But as you can see, they are declining payment. Now, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, did talk about this, giving his disapproval or saying that he thought this was kind of crappy, basically, and asking Chase to maybe shed some more light on this, and Chase has not responded for any comments on it. Now, I do think that a lot of companies will continue to do this. Of course, there's going to be a lot of adoption, but there are going to be more companies that come out against crypto, and some of the time, it's not because they actually want to. It's because of state mandates or government mandates, and I don't think that they necessarily want to be kept out of crypto either. Keep in mind, last time Jamie Dimon really talked badly about crypto back in, I believe it was 2017. He was talking about firing anyone that traded crypto. They actually bought a ton of an ETF with direct exposure to Bitcoin over in Europe. So I would not be surprised if they are buying crypto at this time as they are saying that they're going to decline payments. Also, they say decline payments for Bitcoin and crypto. I'm not sure exactly what this wording means. If it's that you can't actually transfer into crypto apps, or if it's some other specific action that they are declining at this point. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, check out Bag Tracker AI. This is the company that we're building to put everything in one place for you. We're just gauging interest at this point. So if you think that this would be something beneficial, which I think it would for anyone watching this video, use the link underneath the video, hit the pre-register, put your information in, and you'll be on the short list to be able to get into this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.